Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm David Aaron with Aaron Wealth Management, where we help our clients manage the things they can't afford to lose. You know, today's live stream is about CPP. I'm just going to check the audio, and as always, you're very helpful in helping me make sure that this works well. So, checking the audio on another laptop. There it is. I see it's working just fine. Today's live stream is all about CPP, break-even point. When should you take CPP? What's the rationale behind taking it early versus taking it on time at 65 or taking it at age 70 or somewhere in between? And why would somebody do that? Why would somebody not accept taking money from the government as early as possible? So we're going to get into that. It's really a very popular topic. Just about all of my clients ask me this question, when should we take our CPP? And so it must be also on your mind as well. This live stream is going obviously live on LinkedIn, but it's also going right across on Facebook and on YouTube. The video will be saved on LinkedIn for about 2 weeks, and it's always saved on YouTube. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe so that you don't miss any videos. Like and share this video with everyone that you think should see it, because when you do that, first of all, it's free to do that. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take any effort at all to subscribe to the channel. But when you like and share and comment, it helps the algorithm. More people see the video as a result of that, and I get to help a lot more people. I'm very passionate about financial planning. It's something that I think everyone should have the opportunity of sitting in front of someone to help them achieve their financial goals. So many people today work for companies where you set goals, and you might be an individual goal setter, and whether it's having a fitness program or whether it is just raising a good family. There's all kinds of different goals that people have, and yet when it comes to their money, it's almost as though they feel, I feel it's I don't know if it's embarrassment or just lack of understanding where to begin, who to trust. I know there's lots of stats. In fact, I'll be posting a video on YouTube about retirement in, the next day or so, and it speaks to that point actually about people's sentiment as to how they actually view retirement and why they might get help or not get any help. But today is going to be an awesome session. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at CPP, the actual math behind it. I'm not going to bore you with the math because everybody just says, oh my God, it's going to take some calculators out. We're not going to be doing that. But I'm going to share with you, how much money could you get at age 60 versus 65 versus 70? Where's the break even? So where's the sweet spot on starting your CPP payments? Then I'm also going to take you into Canada. I know it's going to sound strange, but Canada Revenue's website, where they actually have a really good tool. Surprisingly, they have a very good tool, and it's going to lead us to a lot of questions, and that's why I want to use it live with you. I hope this works, because I've never been able to share live another site, and I hope it goes well. But this is going to be an awesome video, so let's get into this right away. So when we're talking about CPP, let's just do a quick refresher, okay? So we have CPP, the 100% benefit at age 65. If you take CPP early, there's a 36% penalty, if you will. So you're going to have 36% less if you take it at age 60 versus age 65. And if you wait till age 70, so delay it until age 70, you actually get more. So you're incentivized to wait until age 70. That's an extra 42%. So if you look at just from the math point of view, I'm not going to get into the math, like the calculation, because I think it's not worthwhile. I think what's worthwhile is me showing you the graph of where these lines intersect. But the idea here is, if you take it early, if we use the maximum CPP benefit, because there's no point in, I got to choose a number. So I could choose the average CPP, or I could take the maximum. I'm just going to take the maximum. You can have a look at your own situation. But if you take it early, it's about 10 grand a year. If you take it late, so delay, it's about 20 grand a year. So it's twice as much money. This is a huge thing for you to consider. And so I'm going to go into why you might or might not want to do that, but let's just get right into the graph right away. If you look at the CPP break even, what we're looking at here is, let's say we take the blue line, that's taking it early at age 60. So you see it translates all the way across to age 90. We'll take 90 as the death date. If you have older, longevity and your family members live until 100, well, then you're just, you're benefiting from having more money coming to you. But the idea here is that we'll just choose 90 because the average death in Canada is about 85, 86 years of age. So at age 60, that's the blue line. Now we're going to balance that off, or we're going to look at this while we're looking at the other timelines simultaneously, so we can have a look at the break even. If you were to take it at the regular age of 65, and by the way, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll get to them while we're doing this, and if not, I'll just talk to you while afterwards. I'll put the answers in the message. You can do this on any of the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. So if you take it at age 65, look at what happens. The intersection of when you are going to take it at 60 versus 65, that break-even point is about age 73. The math behind it is not really that complicated, but if you were to just simply take the amount of money that you would be making or receiving at age 60 over till age 65, add all that up, and then divide it by the difference of what the maximum is at 65, you're going to get, that's going to come out to a number that is about almost 9 years of a break even. So if you add that 8.9, 8.7%, or 8.7 years to the 65, it comes out to 73. It's almost 74. So the break even point is age 74. So what does that tell you? That tells you that if you have an idea, if you will, I don't know how to explain this. If you have an idea, or if you have a feeling, or if you will, just know that family members in your family history live past age 74, then it makes no sense mathematically to take your money early at age 60. It's 100% in your benefit to take the money at age 65, because you're actually going to earn more money over that period of time than you would have if you took it at age 60. So that helps you from a point of view of where's the break even from 60 to 65. Now, what about the break even for age 70? You'll notice that age 70 is around, on the age 60 is around 70, we'll call it 77, 78 years of age. And basically, if you're living, we'll call it past age 80. If you believe that you're going to live past age 80, then it makes mathematical sense for you to be taking CPP, deferring it to age 70, because you'll actually earn a larger amount of money over that period of time. So why am I showing you this? Well, because I want to show you the actual break even here. So age 70 obviously produces more income than age 60 or age 65. But you've got to wait until age 70. And so this is really important. It's not much time spending on that slide, because it's really a moot point, because the other issues that help you decide whether you should take it early at 65 or 70 are the biggest concerns that you have to put into this. It's not just simply about the amount of money. It's really about longevity. This is really important. When you think about longevity in your family, look back at your parents, your grandparents, even brothers and sisters. If they died of natural causes, I'm not talking about accidents. Of course, we can't do anything about that. But talking about ages of parents and when they passed away, grandparents when they passed away, if they're much older, then it makes sense for you to take it at age 70. But the issue really is about, do you need the money? Now, obviously, common sense here is, if someone is asking you or asking an advisor, when should I take my CPP, then it must be obvious. The obvious thing here is they don't need the cash at age 60. Because if they did, they wouldn't ask the question. They would just simply be taking the money at age 60. But just let's look at the retirement income timeline. This is what I want to focus on. So this is age on the left-hand side, working left to right on the page. Age 60 is the earliest date that you can receive your CPP benefit, negative 36%. So 36% less than what you would receive at age 65. At age 65, we'll call that regular retirement. Regular retirement means you're receiving your CPP, you can receive your old age supplement, you can get your employer pension. You could even start taking your, you could start taking your RSPs, convert that to a RIF anytime. But this is typically when you have a pension plan, it's received to you at age 65. When people retire, and we look at age 65 as the retirement date, then CPP and OAS is available to you. So that's a typical date. Age 70 is the latest that you can take your CPP benefits, so you're adding 42%. Then age 71 is your latest age to convert your RSP to your RIF. So that's an important date as well. And then age 86, we'll just say that that's the average date of death in Canada. I wanted to share that timeline with you because it's important, because what happens next is really important. Let's look at this timeline. We're just going to take, instead of looking at the full timeline of 60 to 86, we're just going to take the age 60 to 64, so just before 65. So let's say you decide to take CPP at age 65, so regular timeline. Then what that's really saying is, how are you going to actually pay your bills, fund your lifestyle? So you have to have in mind that, let's say if your annual or your monthly income need is $4,000 per month, so that's $48,000 per year that you're going to have to consume for each year. That's $240,000 over that period of time. That's the amount of money that you need to have, or that's the amount of money that you're going to spend over that 5-year period. So from age 60 to 64, where are you going to get that income stream? And that's really important. Typically, when we look at this, we're looking at using savings, tax-free savings accounts. Those are different, right? Savings, we're talking about cash that you have saved in a savings account or GIC, or I cringe at those things, but they do have their purposes. And then tax-free savings account. Do you have passive income? These things are really important. I'm showing you this because so many people, just when they're thinking about talking with their spouse, saying, what age will we retire at? And 65 seems like a number. Let's say they just haven't really given it much thought. And they say, like, 65 is a decent age. Let's just retire. Let's think about retirement at 65. And this is when we're going to get our CPP, our old age security. Like, we're going to have, between the two of us, we're going to have 20,000 each. So that seems to be like a decent amount of money. And then plus we've got our investments. So, and we got a house that we could sell. So that's the kind of rationale that goes into a lot of planning that isn't really done thoroughly. But what if the person says, that's fine, 65, but I'm going to actually stop working at age 60, but I'm not going to take my CPP until 65. So what income are we going to use? Where's that pool of money? And so that's the planning that's really required. If you're going to be taking your CPP, what you really need to be thinking about is financial planning. Where are you going to get the income streams that are going to help you to use some source of money between age 60 to 65 so that you'll have the CPP? A husband and wife having both CPP and old age security coming in, that's a huge amount of money. I know it sounds like it's not a big amount of money, but I'm talking about average incomes here, okay? We're not talking about people that are making $200,000 a year. They're not really thinking about CPP and old age security. They're thinking we have a tax problem, and how are we going to deal with that tax problem? We're talking about average incomes in Canada. They need CPP and they need old age security. So this is why I want to bring this up. This is a big problem. I see this every day when I do planning with couples or individuals, and they say, look, I'm planning to retire at age 60 or 62. I don't plan on taking my CPP until age 65. And I'll say, okay, well, so let's look at the cash you have. What income sources do you have available to you in order to bridge that gap between 60 to 65? This is a very important consideration. I want you to pay attention to, because it's disastrous if you haven't done it. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that you filled up that gap? Well, it all begins with a financial plan. So a financial plan, it's seeing the outcome of your planning decisions before you commit to them. It's so important. A financial plan doesn't take up a lot of your time. It maybe takes 2 to 3 meetings with an advisor. It can be done on a Zoom call. You can exchange all the information needed to do a financial plan so that you can come out with different scenarios that says what happens to us if we take it at 60, our CPP at 60 versus 65. What are the income sources? Are we going to run out of money? Do we have enough money to do this? The only way to know that is when you do a financial plan. And it's not complicated. If you're a regular kind of couple that are just working for someone and you're saving money and you go on vacations, you don't have any other businesses, your planning is not too difficult to figure out, unless there's some other things like medical conditions, children with medical conditions or special needs, and you have all these other expenses. That's a different matter. But planning is actually very simple. I'm going to share with you one idea, and then soon I'm going to get into the actual walkthrough of doing this. And it's a cool site. I have to tell you, CRA did a good job. Okay, I met a client. This is what her financial position looked like. So when this meeting occurred, I just said, like other meetings, the way they begin is tell me about yourself, tell me about what you're doing, tell me about your goals. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it really is. I'm a financial coach, right? I want to help people achieve their financial goals. People need a coach for that. So I say, tell me about what is your current habits? How are you saving money? How much money are you making? How much money are you putting forward to your retirement? Let's talk about that. And so when I take all of that data and I put it into our software and I look at it, it tells me that this person is going to, so this is like a typical income in Canada, by the way. This is not, I don't want to, I'm not trying to sell people on the fact that everybody that works with a financial advisor has to make over $100,000 a year or $500,000 a year. People need help planning, and you don't have to feel like if you are only making $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000, you can't have advice. That is not true. All you have to do is put your hand up and walk into any financial institution, call just about any financial, because there are some advisors say, I can't help you. They don't take clients with lower incomes. It's fine. But there are so many financial advisors that can do this work. All you have to do is put your hand up and you're going to get help. Okay, so looking at this is easy to explain. The person going left to right, person is working, okay, in their 50s, thinking about normal retirement date of 65. So that green area, that's income. They're making money, okay? And then they retire. There's a little bit of income that they make because the retirement date based on their birth date, that orange line, that's just them. Like let's say they retire in March. So there was a little bit of income for that year, and then their retirement assets kick in. The gray area is government benefits. And then everything above those gray lines, that's all their savings. So what you're seeing is at age 76 is the last year that they can have a fully funded retirement. That gray line that is at the top of those bar charts that run left to right, that's their lifestyle expenses. So at age 76, the lifestyle expenses there is about $80,000. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, how come it's 80,000? Because as time goes on from 65 to age 76, cost of inflation goes up by 2%, at least 2% per year. So you have to factor in that the things that you're going to be buying, it's just going to cost you more money, right? Also, as you age, you have to take more money out of your retirement accounts. That's mandated. The RIF goes up by age for the minimum withdrawal anyway. So at age 77, you see that they actually can't fully fund their retirement. They actually have to start taking a lesser income, and it just gets lesser and lesser. And so that red area tells this person, you're going to not be able to have the lifestyle you want if you keep doing what you're doing today. This is hugely important. It's an awesome thing to go through with an advisor, because it tells you right now, with whatever you're doing, this is the result. Again, going back to this slide, seeing the outcome of your planning decisions before you commit to them. So sit down with her, and it looks like this, and we say, here's what I believe you could do. Let's talk about whether this is possible. And it turns into that. Fully funded retirement, no gaps, having enough money to retire, income continuing to go up ahead of inflation so that you're not losing any purchasing power throughout your retirement. And this is a normal financial plan. This is an everyday, see this every day. It's not complicated. It's easy to do. And the result, by the way, for this client is not what you think. You probably think, oh, he's probably saying you got to put 20,000 away every year. It's not. It's very, very easy to achieve. It just takes someone to be able to explain, look, if you're just to move these pieces around just a little bit, this is the outcome. And that's the power of a financial plan. And so I encourage you, if you haven't engaged a financial advisor, my contact information is there. You can absolutely ring me up, give me an email, use whatever device or platform you want to communicate with me. But getting a financial plan done is really not a difficult process, and it is really important. Look, there are statistics, using a financial advisor, you're going to have up to 290% more money than someone who doesn't use a financial advisor. Those are the statistics. I know you can say, well, those are put out by institutions that promote using financial advisor. Maybe, okay. I just know, based on 20 years of experience, people that have taken my advice end up with more money. That's just that simple. It's just the statistics. Okay. Another thing you need to do, if you're enjoying this content today, you can absolutely, it's one of the most important things you could do while you're watching this video, is smash the like button, share it with somebody, let them see this. It's really important. Subscribe to the channel, because I'm just going to be doing a lot more great videos like this. But let's dig into this. I hope it works. If not, I'm going to share the screen with you anyway. This is Canada Revenue's website. Believe it or not, this is their website. I can't believe they actually did something that's going to help people in a way that it's not that complicated to do. I'm going to try to share this screen with you. And I'm going to try and do this live with you and walk through, and it's going to lead to a lot of questions. And that's okay, because this is why we're on this video today. We're going to walk through how to figure out how much money you're going to have, and are you going to have a fully funded retirement. And you could just simply use Canada Revenue's website. Let's see if this works. I'm hoping it does. Let's see if it pops up on the screen. And I'm going to go to this button here. It says Canadian Income Retirement Calculator. Okay, so click on that, and information about what you need to do, everything else. And when you're done, and it gives you some information about what kind of browser. This is Revenue Canada. Make sure everybody has a browser. So it says continue. Here we are. We're into the retirement calculator. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but I'm going to explain as we go along. I'm going to use my own age, but I'm going to use Canadian average incomes, everything else, so we can make sure that it's being done on an average scale. So my month, February, I know I look a lot younger than I am, 68, 53, okay? Male. Okay, now it says, what is your current annual income from all sources? So what I want to do here is I'm going to just choose like an average. If I'm not going to choose the average, like a $60,000, I'm going to choose $100,000. There's a reason why I'm going to choose $100,000, because if you have a low income right now, then there's absolutely obvious you're going to take CPP at 60. But I'm going to choose 100 because now people are thinking about, is it the right time to take it now, given, should I start taking my RSPs early? Should I RIF early? Should I take my CPP early? I'm trying to mitigate tax, right? So this is why I'm going to use 100,000 because it's a decent income, and let's see what kind of result it has. And I'm doing this live with you, so there's no, I'm going to see the result of this when we do this. But now this is really interesting. Well, look what Revenue Canada says here. You know, there's this rule of thumb that everybody talks about, and it says, how much money will you need in retirement? And they'll say 70% of your income you should have available in retirement of your current income. So here they're telling you the majority of recent Canadians retire with an annual income of $100,000 at age 53, received an annual retirement income between 48 to 75,000 at age 70. So kind of cool that they're telling you what is the statistics in Canada for someone making 100 grand. So I'm just leave it at 62. That seems like a decent number for me to have of income, 5,000, roughly 5,000 a month, based on your current age and your life. It's expecting that I'll pass away at age 85. I'm just going to leave it at that. And that's pretty accurate in terms of my family history. So I'm just going to leave 85 there and hit next. Okay, here we go. Next page. Okay, are we in Quebec? No, we're not in Quebec. We'll skip that. Are you a member of an employer pension? No, I'm self-employed. And that's like a lot of Canadians, a lot of Ontarians driving the economy, self-employed income. So I'm going to leave that. That's definitely me. I'm running a financial planning practice. Or I'm going to say no, because I'm not part of a pension. Next. And then we go into, okay, do you have, yeah, I'm going to say that I have 100, what is my current, I'm going to say that I have 150,000 because actually the average 50-year-old in Canada has got about 150. It's actually less than that, but I'm just going to use 150,000, okay? On average, how much do you plan to contribute? In Toronto specifically, you wouldn't believe this, but in Toronto specifically, the average contribution is just over $6,000 annually. I'm just going to call it 6,000. Even though someone making 100,000 should be able to do a bigger contribution, but if you look at it from a point of view of CP or an RSP contribution plus a tax-free savings account, it's a little bit tricky. At what age do you plan to start receiving your annual income from your RSPs? I'm going to push that all the way as far as I can because I'm going to be using other income sources. That's my plan anyway. So I don't want to touch this RSP. I want it to grow tax deferred as long as I possibly can. What age do you plan on stop receiving RSP? Well, when I die. What average annual rate of return? I'm just going to leave it at 5%. If people, I want you to caution, it's just nice to play with this number. You could say, well, I'm going to put it at 11%. What you don't want to do a plan that says I need 11% rate of return in order to retire. You do a plan that's a moderate rate of return. If you get more, that means you have more money. But make sure you have something that is reasonable. If you look at any financial projections by any institutions, they are actually planning out for 5%, even less long-term rates of return. So just have a look at that. Do you have any other savings? Yeah, I have tax-free savings. I've been putting, as most people do, putting savings away. So I'm going to say I have $90,000. I contributed my maximum every year, and it's grown over time. And how, on average, when you put money in, I'm going to say this is annually, and I'm going to put in my maximum every year to a tax-free savings account. Okay. What age do you start receiving that? I want to start receiving my tax-free savings account. I'm going to say for now, but this is where it's really good for you to go through this process. I'm going to say 65, and we're going to look at the result of that. And it might say in this, look, you have a gap between age 60 to 65 that you have no income. So maybe you need to put drawing on your tax-free savings account at age 60 rather than 65. But we can always go back and change that. At what age do you plan to stop? Well, 71, because I'm going to have I'll expire all the tax-free savings account, but I'll get my RSPs in there at age 71. So I'm going to put it 71. What is the annual? I'll keep the annual rate of return at 5%. So combined, your total retirement savings from past and future contributions are actually going to be $600,000. expressed in today's dollars. This would provide an annual income of 69,000, almost 70,000 in retirement. So when people ask all the time, they'll say, "Do I have enough money to retire?" And I've had clients say, "How do you know that that's going to last? How do you know this money, we have enough money and this money is going to last a long time?" So it, even this website is helping you to see how much money you're going to have. And so to answer that question, I'm doing a video on that one, but to answer that question, is not that complicated to see. As long as your withdrawal rates are consistent and you don't start spending more than you actually said you're going to spend, because that's when it goes crazy and offside. But if you say, look, my retirement is going to cost X and it stays at X, then we can plan for how much and how long that's going to take. Let's go to the next slide. Will you have any other income? No, I don't have. Let's say we don't have any other rental income. We don't have some kind of passive income stream like you're an Amazon seller. Just this. Okay. So before I switch, look at this graph on the right-hand side. It says annual retirement income goal is 61,500. Your retirement savings of 38,000 annually from 65 to 70, 69,200. So what it's telling me is that I'm using 38,000. That's that sort of pink line, purple line, 38,000 annually from age 65 to 70. Then 69,200 at age 71. 31,000 annually from 72 to 85. So it's telling me, so far, the way I'm reading this graph is that I'm not meeting that horizontal line at the top where it says that's my goal, 61,000. It's saying that I'm actually getting close to 40,000 from 65 to 70. Then bang, I get it. That it's actually overachieving that. But it's because I have my CPP being taken. I've got OAS being made available, but I don't want to steal the thunder of CRA. I want to be able to share this with you. Do you expect to be living in Canada? Yes. When I reach the age of 65. Will you have lived in Canada for at least? Yes. Okay. Now they're adding in CPP benefits, and you can see that chart is changing, right? So at what age do you plan on receiving your old age security? I'm going to say 65. And it gives you some information about the guaranteed income supplement. So now the numbers are starting, this graph is starting to pop a little bit better. Let's go next. Oh, okay, that's the last page. The calculator gives you a rough idea, a little disclaimer. So let's look at this. So it's saying top right-hand corner, I have a $61,500 income goal. My current income is $100,000. So this is just this, right? And then it gives me a summary of RSP contributions and rates of return. On the right-hand side, other savings, goes through all that. These are just a summary of what did we use to produce this. Result in that box on the left, annual retirement goal 61.5, annual average retirement income estimate 42. So I have a deficit of $19,000. It means based on this planning, I don't have enough money to retire. I don't have enough money that at 61.5, it's not going to support this. So this is why this is so important to go through this. And then there's a table below, goes into this. So this is why it's important for you to take a little bit of time. Before you can go to any financial advisor, you can just simply look at this and say, this is what I think in my mind, what's going on. I've made some notes. Here's what I've got. Here's what I've been. What does retirement look like for me? And then you can just go back. You see at the bottom of the page, go to previous. You can save the report, print it, bring it to your financial advisor, or when you meet with someone, you start a new session. So you can start changing this around to say, well, what if I took it early? What if I increased my contribution to my RSP? I got a little bit of a better rate of return. This is where you can start to play around with the numbers a little bit to help you to figure out, am I going to be able to retire on time? So that is super. I mean, I got to hand it to CRA. They actually did a good job on putting together something that is fairly easy. I know I'm used to working with software, especially financial planning software, so I'm used to going through these tables and so on. So I hope that you don't have that problem, but I would encourage you to contact an advisor. Give me a call, ring me up. I'm happy to talk to you. But see, that is a good example of how this works. Anyway, that is it for understanding the CPP break-even point and a walkthrough of CRA's website on a little bit of look. Again, that's that going back to that financial plan, seeing the outcome of your planning decisions before you commit to them. And that is a powerful tool. Financial planning, getting a financial plan done is a powerful tool. All of my clients have financial plans. They actually have what's called in addition to that, I give them a dashboard. It's a one-page document that they can look at it, and inside of 1 minute scanning the page, they know whether or not they're on track, if they're behind, and what to do about it. Again, if you have any questions, please contact me, reach out to me. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with everybody that needs to see this because it's important information. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And by all means, again, thanks very much for taking the time to watch this video today. I look forward to hearing from you and hearing your questions and seeing you next week. Take care.